I have spaghetti and meat sauce in the Instant Pot. Don't worry, it's delicious. If you've seen it before from someone else, you gotta check mine out. And a plant-based pasta sauce to go alongside it. They're gonna be ready at the same time, dinner on the table for both your plant-based and your meat-based friends and family. It's coming up on the Last Minute Cook. Hi, I'm Deborah. You're watching the Last Minute Cook, where I share delicious recipes that are quick so that you can make dinner at the last minute and feel good about what you're serving. And today is just another example of that type of recipe for you guys. Only I'm going to give you two versions. One version is going to be a traditional meat sauce, ragu, if you will, but a kind of shortcut version of it in the Instant Pot. And then on the side, I'm going to do another salsa, which is a sauce for pasta, but this is going to be plant-based, vegan. Two salsas, one is a ragu, one is just a regular plant-based, and we're going to start that now. So for the meat sauce, we're going to get our Instant Pot ready. We're going to put it on saute and let that get heated. The time on your saute does not matter because you're just going to do this for a few minutes while we're getting our vegetables going, and then we'll be canceling that. While this is warming up, oh, and you do need to hit start. Okay, hear that beep? For our sofrito, the base, before we put our meat in, we're going to be getting a little bit of olive oil in there. I have about half of a chopped onion. I like to dice them nice and thin, and carrots and some garlic. If you have celery, you can finely slice up some celery and get that in there as well, if you like celery in your base. Otherwise, carrots, onions, and garlic is good as well. And let me show you real quick the way we like to chop the carrots when you're going into a sofrito, a base for your sauce. Not big like that, not even like that. We're going for thin. If you can see, that width of that is no thicker really than a quarter. They just will cook down better for you and be softer for you and give you good flavor in that sauce. So as this is heating, I'm gonna get my olive oil in there. Oh, about a tablespoon or two. Maybe we'll start with one. We just wanna coat the bottom of the Instant Pot. This heats up fairly quickly. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in. I don't generally use the same amount of veggies for my sofrito every time. I use kind of what I have on hand. So don't be worried if you put too much or too little of any of this in there. The carrots, the onion, the garlic is going to flavor the oil. And we just want to get that all nice and cooked down before we put our meat in there. Makes the meat just, all the sauce and everything that's going to go in this delicious. So here we go. We're going to let these cook for just a minute. For this recipe, we are starting with our onions, our carrots, our garlic, getting that nice and cooked, throwing in a couple of pounds of ground beef, 2 cans of diced tomatoes, and a can of tomato sauce. We will also be using some bouillon, which if you don't have to use that, but if you do have some bouillon, it does really give some depth of flavor, especially when we're doing a quick shortcut in our pressure cooker. So I do recommend that. That will be what we're going for here. While that is, here we go. While this is going, I'm just give this a stir every once in a while so that those onions and garlic don't stick to the bottom. Give that a little stir. Smelling good. Then my side, now, if I had a 3-quart, which I don't, which I may ask Santa for Christmas for that. If I had a 3-quart, I'd be doing my sauce in that. But I'm going to use my traditional pot here. And for this, I've got onion. I think this is the other half of that onion. This is yellow onion, but you can use white. 2 cloves of garlic chopped up. And I went ahead and threw in some red pepper because my red peppers are needing to get cooked, and it's going to give it a little bit of kick for us. So I'm going to put that in here, and I'll be doing this on the stove, but I wanted to show you guys, so I'm just going to do it where you can see it. I'll get all that in here, and I will put some oil in this as well. Oh, with the carrots. There those beautiful orange carrots are. So I've got the same thing, the carrots, the onion, the red peppers. I'm not adding my tomato yet. Right now I'm just doing my thicker vegetables that take longer to cook down. And I will be drizzling a little bit of oil in this as well. Just a little bit. And I will get this started on my stove. And if my vegetables seem like they're sticking or need a little bit of help, sometimes I add a little bit of water, just a little bit, just to help get them steaming and going. As soon as these are ready, we'll be getting our meat in. I'm gonna add a little bit, just a little bit more oil. So you just start out with a little bit and add more as you need it. Just don't forget to stir these babies. They will stick, and then you have to, scrape. And I don't want to pour my spices right over my hot, so I'm going to put that into my hand. Why don't I want to do that? Because the moisture will go into my spices and they'll get clumpy and mess them all up. So don't put your spices or sugar or salt, don't shake that right over top of hot steam. All right. So now these are nice and cooked down. The onion is yellowing and about half the size, it looks like. So hit cancel on our veggies here. And now I'm going to add our beef. This is about 2.5 pounds of beef, I believe. You can do 1, you can do 3, however much you have on hand if you need to use some up. This is a great recipe to make ahead and freeze for later. So, and I am letting it just kind of brown. I've already turned off the saute. I'm just letting it brown, and I'm mixing all the meat as best as I can in with these veggies and letting it brown on that heat that's retained from that saute. We will add 2 cans of diced tomatoes with their liquid. Please don't drain these. Put everything in there. Some tomato sauces have really high sodium, so just be mindful of that if you're using the tomato sauce, but this one is not too bad as far as the sodium goes. So 1 can, you can double the tomato sauce. You can add 2 cans if you like. There's really not a hard and fast rule here. It is mostly just get it in here. It's gonna taste good. If you've got some vegetables and some oil and you've got your meat and you've got diced tomatoes, it's gonna be great. I have 1/2 cup of water with some bouillon added. It's about 1 tablespoon of bouillon that I've mixed in here with 1/2 cup of water. If you're using those cubes, I would just recommend to just dissolve those in your 1/2 cup of water. Warm water helps. This is the better than bouillon base, but you can use any bouillon. Beef, preferably, but if you have vegetable, you can use that too. So we get that in there. And give it just a little stir. You can hear my other veggies over there calling to be stirred, but they're going to have to wait on me. All right, now I will set that aside, get our lid on, go to manual pressure cook, and we're gonna set that for 10 minutes. Make sure you're on sealing and not venting. Hit start, don't forget to hit start, and then you're gonna see it go through its preheating cycle, and then it will start cooking. We're going 10 minutes, and then we're gonna let it sit. Natural release, meaning just after it beeps and tells you it's done, let it sit for 10 minutes before we go and finish with the quick release. While my meat sauce is cooking, I wanted to show y'all where we're at with the stovetop veggies, and you can see that. This is where I'm at with the onions and the peppers and the carrots and the garlic. Smells good. So to speed it along, because my Instant Pot food is gonna be ready a lot faster than this, and generally with a salsa on the stovetop, you're gonna let it simmer and let it simmer and let it simmer. But we're not gonna spend that much time on that. So I'll let it sit with a tilted lid like this, and then just kind of let it kind of steam itself and stirring often, and let it steam and stir and steam and stir. So that's generally what I'll do to kind of speed things along. For this salsa and for the getting dinner served quick purposes, I'm doing 2 cans of just diced tomatoes in their juices, in their water, with the veggies that I've cooked down. And then I'm gonna just let this simmer with my tilted lid on my stove over there, but I can't show you all that right now. So it's gonna sit like that. And I'm just gonna stir it, and it'll be a race between the two to see how it is. My pasta has just come out of the water. I've just drained it, and just a tip, straight from your draining, please don't rinse your pasta. You keep your pasta, you just drain it, don't rinse it, go straight into your bowl. Sometimes I'll just put it back right into the pot, but the pot is hot. So right into your bowl, then drizzle a little bit of olive oil. This keeps it from sticking and becoming like cement. And then I want to check my meat. I'm going to break it up, make sure everything is nice and cooked through. So I'm just breaking up the meat so that it's in smaller little bits, because we don't want to have big bits of meat. And then that will help kind of thicken everything up as well once there's a better consistency in here. There we are. Now that meat is nicely broken up, each bite will have more of the flavors and it won't taste like plain meat. Okay, we're set. So we get our pasta situated. And I'm going to spoon over some of this. I'll see this. Look how pretty this salsa is. Those colors, you've got the white of the onion, the red of the peppers and tomatoes, the orange of the carrots, all the good vitamins. And if you use nutritional yeast, it is delicious on top of this. In fact, I'll grab that as a cheese kind of substitute, a little bit of nutritional yeast. I'm going to show it to you. For all my plant-based friends out there, a little bit of this in lieu of cheese sprinkled over the salsa. And then our ragu meat sauce. Look, you guys. And we talk about cheese for your meat sauce. Freshly grated Parmesan. Highly recommend freshly grated Parmesan when you eat meat sauce on pasta. They just go together. And I'm not talking about the store-bought Parmesan, freshly grated. And then on your plant-based side, I don't have this every day, but on occasion, just a little sprinkle. It is odd looking, I will give you that, but it's loaded with all the B vitamins and B12 and things like that, and it has a flavor of cheese, the nutritional yeast. So it's really good to add on potatoes, pastas, salads, things like that. Make cheese sauces with them, which we'll do that later. You guys, let's give it a taste. So this is the meat sauce. You can buy store-bought canned meat sauce, jarred meat sauce, or you can do this, and it's delicious, delicious. So for all of y'all that might be saying, oh my gosh, you should be cooking that meat sauce for 4 hours over the stovetop, yes. However, if I gotta choose between getting it quickly on the table homemade versus pulling it from a jar that's store-bought, I much prefer this. I'm not knocking store-bought, do it, but if you're looking for a quick meat sauce that is delicious, that you know what's in it, and you can make it quickly, this is good. This is really good. And I probably shouldn't have too much of this, so I'll just put that down. Y'all can do this. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and learning a little bit about plant-based and regular omnivore meals being able to be served at the same time. And if you are liking that idea, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more videos like this where I do both. It's really nice to hear from y'all, and buon appetito. Ciao.